Hello everyone, my name is Emily Potter and I am the host of the Living the Dream Video Summit. I'm a musician living in a gift economy model and I am the director of the Million Kisses Foundation. I put together this presentation for you. This is 21 presenters all around the world coming together and I'm asking them one question. How are you living the dream? I want them to answer from their personal experience and from their tools and expertise so that you and I can blast through our barriers. You and I came to Earth to live our dream. And there are so many things, there's so many resistances, there's so many insecurities and doubts and disbeliefs that we have around that dream. And I want us to blast through them. And my motivation is when you live your dream and I live mine, we are at our most joyous. And I want to have that be the world that I live in. So I brought these people together so that I can ask them that question. And today we go to Ontario, Canada, in Toronto, and we welcome Cherie Ann Day. Welcome, Cherie Ann.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So grateful. Well, I want to begin by introducing to what she does. She is the director of Day Designs, wellness. She's a wellness consultant. She has quantum touch energy healing experience, which I really love. I've done that as well. And also Designing Wellness for Your Life. She's the author of Designing Wellness for Your Life. She also facilitates workshops in sacred sexuality, sacred touch parties, snuggle parties, manifesting magic workshops, and healing, heart healing workshops. So definitely she has found her calling, and I am absolutely honored to have her here. I'm going to begin with a tiny little thing that happened before we even got on this interview. I want everyone to know she and I have been working for the last hour on just the technology and attempting to get this interview. And I understand it's because what she has to offer is actually quite powerful. And both of us are like, we're just not going to make any excuses. We're just going to make this happen. So we both, the technology and the internet was not working at both of the locations we chose. So we both got in our car and went to a second location to make sure that it was good internet. And on that ride, so I knew that I was going to be asking her specifically questions about her work with sacred sexuality. And on the drive from my house to where I am now, I started to tear up. I started to feel the power of what she is doing for the earth, and specifically with that intimacy and the power of what she's sharing with. And so I was tearing up because I was experiencing some memories from my past already starting to heal. Whew. So I'm already amazed at what she is offering, and specifically to our audience today. So I have my first question for you, one that many people would like to know for their own experience. I want to first hear about your journey, how you became who you are, specifically as an energy healer, Cherie Ann, and also you facilitating the workshops within sacred sexuality and the others that you bring in as well. Anything you want to share from your journey till now?
Well, I started my journey being adopted and going through the foster care system, and in my adoption I was sexually abused, and so that is basically what started my journey. I wanted to heal my past traumas and do what I could to make it a better place for other women, children, and people in general to heal the shame around sexuality and heal their traumas and build better, healthier, happier relationships, not just with ourselves, but with each other and our great Mother Earth. If we don't respect ourselves and each other, and we don't respect the earth, then it's hard for us to have a healthy relationship.
Your website is called Make Love for Peace. And
That's
I shared that with someone recently and it blew their mind, the concept of that. Can you explain a little bit about what that means?
Well, I've had a lot of spiritual experiences also since I was a child, which I think helped me to move through a lot of the pain and the trauma. And so I received a lot of messages from the universe, Mother Earth, through media, songs, movies, and I was inspired a lot by John Lennon and a lot of his music, and also with the New Age movement and how our thoughts and words are creative. I thought that being very specific in our wording, so instead of the old 60s slogan, make love not war, where the last picture in our mind is war, it's make love for peace. And then he had the bed in, and I'm just about to go on Sunday to the 4th annual bed in Trinity Park here in Toronto in honor of John Lennon and Yoko Ono. That's a big community event here in Toronto. And I thought, well, how can we use our sexual energy for positive creation? So that's how the idea was spawned, to focus on peace and to use that energy and channel it for healing and for good.
So your book, and you're going to tell us a little bit about that. I specifically love you bring it in. It's a guide for personal healing and also so emotional and sexual healing. And so what I like about it also is that you bring in that it's not just affecting us personally, but it's actually a guide for emotional and sexual healing for the world and for the planet. I would love for you to share with us a specific technique or a guide for someone who doesn't know that there actually is that connection of their spiritual, that inner healing that happens and how it affects the world, and specifically that sexual healing. How can our personal sexual experiences, if it's healed, how can that affect the world and actually bring peace and world healing?
Well, we're divine beings that carry certain frequencies. And every time that we heal ourselves and let go of past trauma and release things that are not serving us, it affects our whole community, everyone around us, and it grows exponentially. So it's very important work for us to go inside and look at the areas where we're stuck and we're blocked and we're feeling ashamed or guilty, and work on those things, because every little thing that we do, kind of like the butterfly effect, does ripple out into the universe and helps raise the vibration of everything and everyone. So it's the more people that we can share this with and have experiences with, the better, because it will just keep growing.
That's the key, what you just said. It raises the vibration. So two people sharing intimacy in that place of healing, eliminating the guilt, eliminating these things that block that experience, raises the vibration for the planet. I've actually talked to this friend recently about how dedicating their lovemaking actually then
exactly
announces that of a very focused way that the world can be healed. It was really a poignant moment for her to learn that. Anything you want to share about that?
Yes, that is actually also a big part of what Make Love for Peace is about. When people join up to participate, the Make Love for Peace Day, you can do it every day, of course. And it's for individuals. We can self-pleasure ourselves and dedicate the orgasms to our own healing, to a friend or the community or the whole planet. But as people coming together, consent is the sexiest thing. We can, when there's strength in numbers, when two or more are gathered, we can even create a higher vibration and dedicate that orgasmic experience to the healing of the planet. And that's what Make Love for Peace Day is all about, which happens on the day out of time every year, July 26th. And so it's been since 2012 that I started that. So when people sign up for that, they will get a sample ritual or ceremony with some affirmations that everyone will be doing on the day out of time. And I'm starting it at 10 o'clock in the morning and ending at 10:11 in the evening. So people can choose one or both of those times to send out their orgasmic energy of love. So there's going to be a wave of love around the world.
You know what I love about this, Cherie Ann, is it's such a personal experience to have sexual intimacy, and yet the reason why this interview is so important, and the reason why it took us an hour to even get to this interview and 2 different locations being connected and technology, is because at least the dialogue, the conversation gets to happen. The dialogue itself, no matter what personal experiences or shame or guilt or preferences that people have, the conversation gets to at least be acknowledged and respected. So even if people don't feel comfortable with their own experience, they know that it's okay to explore, even if they don't want to actually go any further than that. Just knowing that the conversation is available if they want to have it. So that's the power of what you're presenting for the world.
Thank you.
I have a question from the audience. So when people sign up, they're able to ask specific questions of people who are living the dream. You are living the dream. You had to go through your own fears of even getting to this place so that you can say the word orgasm. I'm sure, this is a whole journey to be able to say the word sex and to have it be something that feels free instead of something that feels shameful. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience and your own healing? And the reason why I'm asking is so don't forget that part. I'm going to come back to that. There are people in the audience who are very open and are ready, but they might be in a sexual relationship with a partner who isn't as open. And so there are people in the audience who are interested in assisting their partners and healing their partners. Anything that you want to share that might be useful for the audience and their sexual partners? And maybe not even just sexually, but just in general, relationships.
Okay, sure. Well, yes, it takes a lot of courage to get there and to want to be in that space of loving and committed openness. I did a lot of research myself and explored many avenues through poly communities, through monogamous relationships, through a lot of reading, practicing breathing techniques, exercises, all kinds of things, and then putting together small workshops. So the thing that I find the most powerful is through breathing techniques and getting into our heart space, which is where quantum touch comes into play as part of my background. We use body awareness and breathing techniques to raise our vibration, and then the healing that we'd like to effect is done through intention. So having an idea or an intention of how the energy is to be directed before we start is what we do. So if people are wanting to work with their partners to help them become more open or free in that way, really, again, it is about consent and permission, but you can always send the energy for the highest good of all, and it's up to them to receive it. We can't really control another person or force them into anything they're not willing or ready for. So it's really a lot of self-work. It's more self-work than anything, and this is for single people more so even than couples, but as well as couples, because it's our own personal journey, and it doesn't matter your sex, your race, your religion, your orientation. It doesn't matter. It's for everybody.
You answered that so well. That was such an intricate question I asked, and you answered it so well. I want to commend you for that. And that is that's an example I can feel from you the level of inner work that you've done, Cherie Ann, so that you can come to this moment. So I wanted to say thank you for where you've been, and so you can actually be so divinely orchestrated for those who are ready to do the work. A question about, I want to actually hear I really like what you talked about. It's the emotional work that's very foundational. And you are a wellness consultant. You are a wellness coach. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because what I think that you might find here is some of the audience would like to actually start there and be able to have the opening start in that emotional wellness, and then it can branch out into all of the aspects of who they are. So tell us a little bit about the wellness consulting that you do.
Well, I started more on the nutritional level of helping people, and through environment, because again, we always have our own challenges that we're working through and that we learn from. And I had some health issues and sensitivities to environmental products, and so I went on that journey looking for the best products and the best services that I could find to help myself. And so I offer that out to other people. And then I realized, wellness isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional and sexual. It's all these aspects of our life. So when working with someone that has physical health challenges, I also help them by working on their mental and emotional issues as well, because, you've probably heard of Louise Hay, and she talks a bit about how our belief systems can affect, our bodies. And so I do work with affirmations as well as nutritional supplements, all kinds of things where I dialogue with people and get them to see, which areas they could improve upon. Sometimes people will complain a lot about being in pain, but they're not willing to make the change necessary, whether that's changing a product or eliminating certain foods from their diets. So it's like, how much pain does someone have to be in before they're willing to make a shift?
That's extremely insightful. I was just thinking about my own self. That's a great question. And starting with the how the universe likes to give us that nice little feather. Are you ready to change? And then it turns into a hammer, and then it turns into an earthquake. What level are you willing to play the game? So absolutely very wise.
Yeah, I don't want to get to the 2x4.
Exactly, right through. Yeah. I just last night I was saying to my sister, the universe has heard me, right? I just want feathers. Like I've made a commitment that I will only do feathers. Like there's no reason not to just listen the first time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Direct us with what you're saying to your book. Tell us about what makes your book unique. There's so many different kinds of wellness books that people can pick up. Yours is called Designing Wellness for Your Life. I'd love to hear the insight, the passion that you have surrounding this book that the audience would really benefit from.
Okay, well, Designing Wellness for Your Life is more like a course, and one of my free gifts is the audios. I have some guided meditations that go with that course. So it's really like a mini book. And the main book is the Make Love for Peace book, which is going to be launching in this next month. And so for Designing Wellness for Your Life, I was working with women at a women's center here, and they were asking for help in the different areas. And so I identified the four, key areas that people need the most help with. And I created the course and the guided meditations for that. So I don't know if I answered. I feel like I forgot part of your question.
Well, we're going to be directing people all these ways to how they can find these things. I was actually just now connecting to my passion is that we actually really fulfill the desires of the audience. I continue to say that in every interview. And so while people are talking, I kind of just bring in, I totally channel in what the audience gets to hear from us so that this is actually useful. So I just felt there are men and women who feel too old to have intimacy, be nurtured and be explosive and beautiful and radiant. They feel too old. That just came through to ask you. So that's what I get to ask you now. What would you say to a client of yours, to someone who's having a session, if they feel like they're too old to experience a healed, beautiful, radiant, connective sexual experience?
Oh, I don't believe that you're ever too old. Age is just a number. It's how old you feel. I have friends in their 70s and 80s who are still really active in their life and having beautiful, loving relationships, and some starting new relationships. So,
Well,
no, it's never too late.
well, I'm gonna press a little bit further in because this is a very strong message I'm getting. Yeah, that's really nice to believe, and yet there's biology and there's our bodies that change. So, what would you say to someone who says, "I am literally too old. Look at my body. Look at how everything's changed."
Well, I would direct them to some really fine, inspirational people that I've been seeing online, people in their 80s and 90s who are doing yoga and qigong and pole dancing. And it's a little bit true, if you don't use it, you lose it. But you can start incrementally practicing through breathing techniques, through stretches, through all kinds of simple things, through isometric exercises that are easy for anyone to do, and then start to rebuild that muscle tone and stamina, and get back into your juicy self, get your sexy back. It's possible, believe me. I've seen so many inspirational people of all ages.
Can you can you tell us an example of someone? This is a very strong energy that it's way beyond just you and me. This is a message that we're getting around the collective consciousness, is that when you get to a certain age, it kind of just dies out. Now, you did point something out pretty perfectly earlier that applies now, is what are you willing to change to get what you want? So are you willing
That's
to do
true.
the stretches? Are you willing to eat beautiful, alive food so that your body feels alive? Are you willing to actually have this dream that you want? So that was really beautifully connected to what you're saying now. But tell us an example, because those examples are really encouraging and inspiring.
I don't have my computer in front of me, but just yesterday, my friend sent me a video of a man who's 112. So I would have to go find the references, and he's using his Qigong energy. He's doing Qigong and sending his love and spreading his energy through the universe. And there's that other lady. I'm sure a lot of people who are on Facebook have seen the lady who is in, I think, her late 70s, and is now, and she explains how it's not easy to start, but she was really determined, and she's now a professional pole dancing lady. So, and it takes a lot. I mean, I don't even know if I have the strength in my arms to do what she does. But practice, practice, practice. Me, I'm just getting back into my yoga, and on the physical sense, I've always been into yoga on the chanting and meditational aspect. Um, but we fall in and out of our routines, and it's just loving ourselves enough to get back up and start again and start again.
And one of the consistent messages I hear from all of the presenters that I interview is exactly that it's okay to fall down. It's okay to lose belief in what the dream is. And then just keep going. Just keep going. If you still want it, it's still available in all of the different alternatives of ways it could possibly look. So I love that message very much. Oh, I love it. Is there anything else you want to share before I get to my next question? You have such a wealth of information. I'm looking at my questions now. You have a workshop called Manifesting Magic. Did I get that right?
Yeah, it's more of a coaching course, and it is on my website. So that one is a self-study program that people can download. The Designing Wellness for Your Life is one that you can take in person as well. And then I also have Creating Consciously, which to get the full benefit of that one, I do cover that in the Make Love for Peace book. But our most transformational experiences comes from personal experience. So that's where you want to have a live course, so you can really see this energy in motion.
So I feel like it's a very bold and confident work that you do, that you actually are saying you can manifest magic. So someone like me, I came into the world and I just cannot get it. I can't stop just having fairy magic around me. I just know it. I have lots of magic, and it comes easy to me, and I'll just boldly say that unabashedly. It just is. And sometimes I
Right?
definitely have days where magic is glum, for sure, for sure. And then I get to see the contrast and such. But you have an actual, you've put together a way that someone who doesn't feel like that they have that inherent magic can manifest magic. I want you to take an example of someone that you've worked with, or an example of someone who is going to contact you from this summit and say, I don't know how to manifest magic, Cherie Ann. Where do I even start? What would you say to that person?
Well, again, it always starts with you. So you have to set out what it is you want to accomplish, figure out what your goals are. And one of the things that I do in a couple of my courses, because there's so many options and there's so many choices for people these days, that it can be hard to focus. It can be hard to choose. So what I have people start with is finding the key areas in their life that aren't working. So, because we tend to complain a lot. We focus mostly on what we don't want and what we don't like. So I'll just get them to go pick your top 3 main complaints and let me help you turn them around.
Oh, brilliant. Just brilliant. And you're using all of the laws of the universe to assist you with that, because that is the power, is just switching from that don't want to the want. And then there's
Yeah.
the consistently being there. I really, I respect that. That's exactly how magic works. So that's wonderful.
And, our language is very important. They don't call it spelling accidentally. When we
Oh,
spell, we're casting spells with our words. There's a really wonderful author from the 1920s, Florence Scovel Shinn, and she has a book called Your Word is Your Wand. So I help people with phraseology, with languaging, and that helps you to start thinking and focusing and speaking in the positive, which will create a huge shift in your reality.
if somebody was listening to you today and they're ready to take their emotional health to the next level, that's one of the questions that people get to choose when they sign up. And you said so much already. I want us to tap back into that consciousness of the audience today, right now. How do I take my emotional health, or how about just health in general? How do I take my health to the next ultimate level? Just, there's so many things. Just one step that you would say to start today, as soon as they listen to this interview. What would be the next step of taking it to the next ultimate level?
Well, waking up every morning with a positive thought is a beautiful way to start your day. So if you have one complaint that's on the top of your list, how can you turn that around and say, well, universe, this is going to be a day full of wonder and magic. Please show me the way. Just start.
You know what I like about that, and I might have cut you off, but I want to say that right there has so much potency, and some people just didn't even hear it just now. And I'm imagining if we actually did that. And so here we're bringing in that one concept that you already brought in, is what are you willing to do to make a difference for your life? What are you actually willing to do whatever it takes? So saying, okay, she as someone who's living the dream has just given me this one concept, making sure that there's a positive thought when I wake up in the morning. Okay, I'm going to do whatever it takes to have that happen. So that means I'm going to do, people have all different ways. They can do their dream journal in the morning. They can, put a sign up on their ceiling, anything like that. And then there it is. You just gave them a secret, and they can make it their own to actually start to the next level.
Yes, and if they sign up and get the free gifts, they can even pick one of the guided meditation audios to listen first thing in the morning. That makes it really easy for them.
Okay, actually, I would love to ask you, what is the free gift? Just give us a little bit more information about the free gift that you're giving our audience.
So everybody that is interested will receive a free group healing. So I'll have on the main page of the Day Designs website where people can access that and give the date and time where we will have a group healing for everyone that signs up and is interested for that. So it'll be an hour-long quantum touch energy healing for general health and wellness to, bring you to the next step. And then the free audios from the Design Your Life course are focused on health, perfect self-expression, love, and abundance.
I feel like when presenters are giving an actual healing session as their gift, it's one of the things I hope that the audience really takes into consideration is signing up, because that's your time that usually you're not giving for free. So this is a generous offer, Cherie Ann, that it's a group healing that people can sign up for the time and the date that they can be immersed in that group healing with you facilitating. That's beautiful. Thank you for that gift for our audience. That's amazing.
You're very welcome.
What's the name of your website again?
It's www.daydesigns.ca for the free gifts. And if people are interested in learning more about the sacred sexuality and Make Love for Peace and Make Love for Peace Day, it's makeloveforpeace.com.
Okay, absolutely wonderful. Thank you. I encourage people and direct them your way for sure. You're doing something so powerful, and you are doing it with confidence and with experience and compassion because of your own story of the sexual healing, the emotional healing that you've been through, so that you can actually get to the depth of people's specific healing paths. So I thank you so much for that. And I appreciate your time today, Cherie Ann. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Emily. It's been a pleasure.
So I want to share with the audience that this interview with the 20 others that I'm doing all because this is my passion. I want so much to live in a world where each one of us lives our dream. And so this effort that I'm doing is all for free for you. And the reason for that is because I'm living within a gift economy, because I'm taking a stand that money is not a reason to walk away from a dream. And I'm starting with myself and doing the practices within myself. So the wonderful thing about that, and the thing that I've really leaned into with trust, is that means that the universe is required. It's the law of the universe that it gets to take care of me as I live my bliss. So if you know that you are the hands and the hearts of the universe to be able to give to me, then I graciously receive, and I have provided for you a link that you can give to me monetarily or otherwise, and I look forward to receiving. So thank you for joining us, Cherie Ann Day. We welcome you and everyone who wants to be part of your life to do so, and vice versa. So thank you for being here.
Great, thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.